Hey folks, Vlad here from HeavyPlay.net, and today I wanted to talk to you about the recent Paradox Interactive DLC controversy. I don't know if you heard about it. I will post some links in the description in order so you can get the entire backstory. But long story short, some month and a half ago, I believe, Paradox Interactive decided to increase the prices of all of their games and DLCs included with them. So people were naturally taken back. They were surprised. They were not really happy about it. Mostly because when gaming companies actually do revise their pricing policies, they revise them downwards. They reduce prices because games, even games that are digital goods, if it was deprecated, they lose their own value in time, and they should be reduced. If you have a number one hit in 2012 and it costs $50, it's only natural that I can get it on Steam Summer Sale in 2017 for some $10, $15, and even if it was the best game 3 or 4 years ago. Times change, games deprecate, people are not playing that game anymore, you don't have a multiplayer community as much as you do, and there are probably sequels to that game that are better than the original one. So, Paradox Interactive decided to increase prices for all of their games and DLCs, and people were really surprised. There were some negative comments. Some said, they're probably doing this for Steam Summer Sale so they can provide us with false pricing discounts. But eventually they came out and said in a post, this is the reason. The reason that we're doing this is because we wanted to kind of adjust the value and charge according to, the new standards or something. So here's the initial post by Paradox Interactive. It goes, "Hey gang, as you have noticed, prices for our products have increased in certain regions around the globe, and this is something we've intentionally done. The reason for this is to make our prices match the purchasing power of those areas, as well as create a more equal price point for our products across the globe. Our prices have remained pretty much the same for several years, and it's only natural for us to re-evaluate price points at regular intervals based on the strength of various currencies, fluctuations in world markets, and many other factors. This is something that all publishers do, and we are no exception. Sadly, this means that the price has gone up for certain regions, and whilst this is something we'd like to avoid, it's necessary to keep our price point more in line with our other markets. We sincerely apologize for any frustration this may cause and hope you can understand why we are doing this." Of course, people did not understand. Why not? Simply put, when companies re-evaluate their pricing policies, they re-evaluate them, as I've said before, in direction of reducing the price, not increasing the price. So this came rather as a shock to everybody, and people would be, even the die-hard Paradox fans were taken back by this decision. If you watch the post, they say that there's a huge number of people who respectfully disagree. You can always vote on a forum, Paradox forum, if you say, okay, I like this post and I agree with the poster has said, or I don't like it and I respectfully do not agree. So this wasn't really something that people have accepted well. So there were different theories why Paradox is doing this. The main theory was greed. After the Chinese gaming giant Tencent bought stock from Paradox in 2016, people are thinking that Paradox is about to go and sell itself to the highest bidder. So I have no comments on that. I couldn't say anything about that because I'm not really familiar with how it goes with Tencent and Paradox. I do, in fact, from real-life experience, know that when Chinese companies buy Western companies, they usually start, putting on the screws everywhere except when it comes to income, and they try to make every possible penny they can make. So, but we cannot generalize. Let's not generalize. But other reasons, I must say, from every standpoint, this was a bad decision, and it was really badly justified to the people. So the fans were actually really dismayed and disappointed, and they started to get angry. And then there's some other changes came, and we had a comment from Frederick Wester, who is the CEO of Paradox Interactive. And that one went like this. Hi all. A number of weeks ago we began revising the pricing for our products on several markets. The intention was to harmonize price points for our games across the globe. This is the first time in several years that we have revised our prices in the countries affected, something most other publishers do on a regular basis. Going forward, we will continue to do so as circumstances change and currencies fluctuate. While we stand by our new prices, we dropped the ball on communicating and timing this properly. In retrospect, we should have announced this change beforehand to the community to provide more transparency into our policies and our intentions. Instead of changing all prices simultaneously, it would have made more sense to change these prices gradually, over time, and to let our fans know what we are doing and why. Those of you who have been with us for a while know that one of the cornerstones of Paradox is you, our community, and that we both value and work hard on our relationship. Sometimes we will agree with each other, sometimes we will not, but what is very important to us is that you don't doubt our sincerity and our intentions. This change in pricing was poorly handled, and for that, we apologize. Going forward, we will do our best to ensure that our community is better informed, that we have a better process for rolling out changes, and that the only surprises you get from us are those of the pleasant kind. Best, Frederick Wester, CEO of Paradox Interactive. Now, honestly, this comment was also not something that I expected to see from people in Paradox Interactive, people I really like, and I have been in touch with for years. As a game reviewer, I have been in contact with them. I have been reviewing their games. I had the privilege to see that these are really cool, honest, upfront people, and I was really surprised by this explanation as well, because except of big greedy publishers, EA or I don't know, I don't want to name anybody except EA right now, but nobody is correcting their prices upwards. They all reduce those prices, and you have to have in mind that the games we're talking about, Europa Universalis, Crusader Kings, these are games that have been out for 3, 4, 5 years, and DLCs, some of them are really old, and one thing that you should naturally reduce them. But today, when you take in consideration how many DLCs there are, they're like 50, 60 DLCs for Europa Universalis 4 and Crusader Kings 2. Don't mind me if I don't know the exact numbers, but it's not like that I'm mistaken for 20, 30. It's like 50, 60 DLCs for those games. Now, not all of them are huge. Some are fairly small, like new factions, soundtracks, artwork, stuff like that. You don't have to buy that. That's the clear point. You do not have to buy a single DLC from Paradox Interactive for any of these games in order for these games to be still playable. Of course, you will miss out on features, but there is no there's no obligation for you to buy any of these DLCs. But nonetheless, personally, I would like to see a package that would say, I want to buy Crusader Kings 2 with all the DLC it has today, and regarding that this game is several years old, I would like to see a decent price on it. However, the prices for all these packages can be $250 when you count all of those together, and that's kind of a lot, you know. Yes, we can always take refuge to the good old, you don't have to buy it, that's fine, But if I have a game that I really love, like Europa Universalis 4, I find myself in a kind of a state of annoyance. If I see that there are DLCs that are coming out every now and then, and I'm missing out on them, and I start to wonder, okay, do I need to buy this DLC for $10 or not? Which one will truly enrich my playing gaming experience and which one won't? So these questions have a nasty tendency to upset people, and especially new players. So what is the deal with that? If I say to somebody, go ahead, get yourself Europa Universalis 4. It's an awesome grand strategy game. It's really good. I've been playing it. I should be doing some videos, but I think it's getting a little bit old for that. And people say, well, cool, yeah, but when they get to the buying page and see there's so many DLCs, they're kind of taken aback and like, oh, right, I'm not sure I want to go into this one. So, and on top of all that, they would Paradox Interactive increase the prices, and no matter how they kind of justified it, people looked at Paradox Interactive, a company that is being admired up to this day. I love those guys still. I don't care about any. This is one controversy that happened. Water under the bridge, as they say. But I love these guys still. But it kind of put a dent in their shiny armor. It kind of made them appear greedy. And there is no other explanation when I look at them. I don't think they're greedy, but I don't see any other explanation, no justification. These posts are jokes. Honestly, those posts are jokes. We have been reevaluating our pricing, and we're going to put the prices up. Okay, of course you have the right to do that. I'm selling my own products, selling my own services. I push the prices up and down depending on circumstances, on the amount of clients I have, and so on and so forth. But you have to have in mind that there's a backdraft from the audience that you're talking to, the people that you are interacting with. So it wasn't really anything that I was positively surprised by Paradox Interactive. And finally, there came the following statement, once again from Frederick Wester, after this entire story, kind of went crazy. And it was a couple of days ago. And in that statement, Frederick Wester said the following. Hello and thanks for your feedback. Following up from yesterday, this will sound a bit schizophrenic, but I really appreciate reactions from this forum. I have spent the last 24 hours reading your comments and feedback, replying to email. During this time, I came to a couple of conclusions. In regards to the price changes, you're absolutely right. You deserve more transparency. Therefore, I have decided to roll back all prices changes made. So, that's it. Unfortunately, they cannot do it until the summer sale is over. Otherwise, they would have to pull off all the products from Steam. So they will kind of try to refund it afterwards. In the second part was some frustration has been expressed due to our DLC policy in how we handle additional content for our games. Since the release of Crusader Kings 2, February 14, 2012, mind you, that's 5 years old game, we have adapted a policy where we release paid content at the same time content for free even if you do not want to pay for the DLC. This means that if you only paid for the original game, you still have a completely different game today with thousands of additions, upgrades and changes. This doesn't mean you should stop giving us feedback on how we conduct our business, but if you straight out just hate our DLC policy, I respectfully say that we have to agree to disagree. Alright. Third, I have promised myself never to give in to mob mentality. It's one of the worst things I know and a terrible way to convince me. In fact, being a pig-headed CEO of a company has grown from 7 people to 225 people during the time I have had the privilege to run it. I have probably from time to time been more prone to say no than yes when people gang up on us to make us change our minds. I guess partly by principle not to cave in due to pressure. In this case, my change of stance has been made from communicating with people who have been active in our community for 10 plus years, people who spend thousands of hours in our games, and coming to the conclusions you find above. Finally, as much as I love a good conspiracy theory, to be frank, the whole Tencent bought 5% of Paradox and now they're all greedy and they're now a publicly traded company, therefore do things the market wish for, is below the level of intelligence of this community. I still hold 33.3% in Paradox as well. I'm still CEO, board member, and avid gamer. All you need to know is that the buck stops here. All problems, feedback can easily be sent my way. I will not always agree, but I promise to listen. Best, Fred. Now, this is a good example of damage control, and fire is out. However, I cannot help myself on wondering, number one, who decided on this price increase? Number two, who advised this person to say, yeah, it's okay, we're going to get it under the table, nobody's going to become upset? And three, how did people think that this will not cause a massive backlash? I mean, massive feedback, negative feedback from the community who would say like, okay, calm down people, you are taxing us quite a lot with your DLCs, and now you want to increase prices? That's crazy. Now, my personal opinion about Paradox Interactive, I told you already, I love them, I like those people, but they're not infallible like any of us. But my personal opinion is that their DLCs are actually imbued with quality. Now, I have played other games, that have been introducing DLCs that were essentially features cut out from the original game, and just for the sake of somebody being able to say, yeah, here's a DLC, so we can charge another $10 from you guys. I have never witnessed that Paradox did any of that. Of course, they have been pushing a lot of stuff that's not really useful or necessary, but once again, it's up to the player to say, yeah, I want to buy this soundtrack, or I don't want to buy this soundtrack. It's their thing, you know? So, I do not believe that DLCs on their own from Paradox Interactive have a low value. No, I guess I say my personal opinion, and once again, we can always speak in our own personal opinions, or maybe a majority of opinions, and I will also say that the majority of opinions don't have a problem with the people, with the Paradox Interactive producing so many DLCs, because 5 years later, you have your favorite game, it's still running, and the fresh blood is being injected into that game, and you're still enjoying it, and you say, hell yeah, this is it. I would like that, you know. Today I'm playing a specific game. I would really love to see that this game gets boosts in small DLCs throughout time, and I enjoy it. However, what I cannot understand is this price increase, the lack of communication, the lack of transparency that Paradox Interactive is usually famous for. They love their fans, they love their people, and they're always there for them. You know, I believe the forums alone have like 1 million active, maybe not active, but 1 million registered users or more. So, yeah, finally, this entire issue could have been easily avoided if they preferred to. If they had planned the entire operation a little bit more if they had went into more detail planning all of this. So finally, I hope this incident will not damage Paradox Interactive and their credibility, their position, their stance among the community. But I can tell you that it was the first negative experience I have witnessed Paradox Interactive having with their fans in all the years since this company exists, and I believe it exists for like 15 years, which is about as long as my own career in the gaming industry. So yeah, I hope that in the future Paradox Interactive will be more open to the fans, and if they want to make more money, yeah, that's perfectly normal, that's perfectly okay. But this was kind of bad way to go after that one. So I just wanted to say, finally, I'm not supporting people who are saying, if you don't like the DLCs, don't buy them. I can understand the frustration of people who have limited income, live in countries that have been hit by the price increase. And I can tell you there are many countries who have been hit with this price increase who have much less than average European, for example, salary, and these countries, the salaries went actually down. So the people having really low income and are fans of Paradox Interactive who just cannot afford all of this stuff anymore. So basically, when a game comes out for $50, and for somebody it's almost it's a decent part of what they earn in that month. And you could go, okay, yeah, I understand now the picture. It gets a little bit more clearer, but after all, people have been mainly disappointed because most of our companies just say, yeah, we have published the game, we have brought out DLCs for it, but we're going to reduce the price and not go up with the price. Finally, I don't know how this is going to turn out in the future. I was pretty sure that the prices would stick for a while still. Oh yeah, it's also important to mention that mob mentality Fred was talking about, the Paradox Interactive games have been hit with a series of negative reviews that honestly hurt them a lot. It hurt them directly, and in most of these reviews people say, awesome game, but I'm not paying for this for all the DLCs. Oh, the Paradox Interactive DLC policy is a scam. Oh, they're so greedy, they want our last penny, or stuff like that. I cannot say that I support that. I cannot say that I condemn that. Once again, it's just the reality of how things are. If fans do not like how the company run their business, they have each and every right to just simply go out and put up a negative review, make their own voice heard, and sometimes that's the only way how the company will hear. I'm not sure if that is the reason why Paradox Interactive gave in. It's hard to speculate right now, but I was fairly certain that the price increase is going to stick for a while. And once again, I would say, yeah, I do not condone that policy, or I do condone that policy. I will buy another DLC, or I won't buy another DLC. You know how things are. You just make your own opinion on this, but you should know the facts. And the main facts here are the prices went up. It's an unusual move. Usually prices go down a bit, adjusted downward, as discounted. The transparency was not there. This was very poorly communicated. Fans got the impression that this was done for greed exclusively. And once the entire story has been taken back, there is a bitter aftertaste in the mouth for all of this. And I'm thinking this could have been truly avoided if the PR, the marketing just had the proper explanation, had the proper approach to this, and just made people understand, okay, this is how it is, this is what we're doing, and you need to understand us and help us with this, stand with our side. And I believe the reactions would have been much different. But as it is, this is what happened, and we cannot really do anything about it. Just hope that there will be no drift. There will be no long-term consequences for either Paradox Interactive in the terms of sales figures for these games, and that the fans will still stick with them. Because, in all honesty, I think Paradox Interactive is one of the few companies I hold in high esteem. And I have seen everything in the gaming industry in the past 15 years, and I know these people, not personally, but I know them through online interactions and conversations. I find they're really passionate about what they're doing. I never thought for a second they are greedy, or they always had the best interest of their fans in their mind. So I just hope this will all blow over quickly, and they will find, both fans and Paradox Interactive will find a new way of working and living with each other, and that the prices will no longer be the issue for any one of them. So thank you for your attention. Thank you for listening to this short video. And if you liked it, hit thumbs up, and if you like stuff like this, consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for all your attention, and see you around. Bye bye.